group A by the name Restorer. We want to welcome you with, like we know, our topic today is building a stronger family post-COVID. What is a family? A family is a group of, in the same, we can say a family is a group of people of like minds. But tonight, our focus is going to be on the nuclear family, a group of people that are related by blood, the father, the mother, and the children. Family, like we all know, is the oldest and the most fundamental human institution that gives its member a sense of belonging, identity, and purpose. According to Genesis 1:28, it says, and God blessed them. The them is in quotes, and said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and dominate the earth. This was the original plan of God for every family. But however, over the years and in recent times, due to structures, civilizations, and other unexpected challenges, families have been experiencing, and they are still experiencing tensions, conflicts, and this has led to so many disappointments, broken homes, and divided homes, broken marriages. Come to think of it, a house that is divided by itself cannot stand, according to Mark 3:25. What is the cause of this upsurge and how can it be resolved? This is where the issue of leadership sets in. Who is a leader in the home? As a leader in our home, what can we influence and how can we influence our family members for a better future? While we reflect on this, enjoy the rest of the meeting as our speakers will provide us with some necessary insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Restorer Adiola. Thank you very much. Now, I have an honor to introduce our first speaker. He's a medical doctor by profession. He graduated from Ladoke Akintola University Technology, Ogbomoso, where he bagged Bachelor in Medicine and Surgery. He later proceeded to University College Hospital in Ibadan for his postgraduate fellowship in internal medicine. He is a certified nephrology specialist with many awards and recognitions. He is happily married to Dr. Olabimpe. Please help me welcome Dr. Busayo Isaac Abiola. The platform is yours now, Doctor. You are welcome.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Restorer Elizabeth, for that kind introduction. As it has been rightly said, in the next couple of minutes, I will be discussing building a stronger family post-COVID-19. And my own subtopic would be the man, his health, and his family. I know some of our audience may be wondering, are we only focusing on the man? Of course, we know that the man is the head of the family.
We can't hear you, sir.
Sorry, I was muted. So I will just start from my outline. Please, can you hear me now, please?
Yes, loud and clear. You can go ahead.
Okay, sorry for that.
Back.
Okay, so I'll be following this outline. Like I rightly introduced, that men are regarded as the head of the family, and we just want to look at things that can contribute to their head in particular, in making them not to be effective in functioning as the role as the head of the family. So like we know from this diagram, we have the spirit, the soul, and the body, and that is the makeup of a man. If you look at the soul aspect, men are so brilliant, are so intelligent. By their soul, by their mind, they've developed all imaginable things. They've gone to space. Even now, we have private people going to space. Also, the spirit of a man has been well developed. People can hear things either from the spirit, in different kind of spiritual realms. But if you look at the body, there hasn't been much focus on development of our body or in taking care of our body. And whether you like it or not, what qualifies you to be existing on planet Earth is because you have a body. The moment your body is not good, or the moment your body refuses to function in line with the soul and the spirit, the person will definitely check out of the heart. And this is being illustrated with this diagram. If you look at this astronaut, by virtue of development of his mind and his spirit, he has landed in the space. But let's assume he decided to remove the suit, the space suit. Obviously, you and I know what is going to happen to that person. So what that tells us is that no matter how strong your body may be, I mean your soul may be, no matter how strong your spirit may be, if you don't take good care of your body as a man or even as a woman, you may not be able to last to fulfill the God's purpose for your life. And the following are the reports, or let me say health challenges that have been attributed majorly to men. For example, prostate cancer, women don't have prostate, depression and suicide. In fact, a report has made us to know that ×2 of men are actually depressed than women. Similarly, also suicide. Men are also involved in heavy alcohol smoking, cigarette smoking, and illicit drugs. Let me dilate more on health-seeking habits. We've seen most of the time, if I have some of the men in the audience now, that how many of you have seen any doctor in the last 1 year, you will be surprised. By virtue of a woman, either by pregnancy or either by any form of health-seeking, they are likely to see a physician. Somehow, they'll get to the hospital. Men rarely even get to do NHIS, health insurance. Men rarely go to hospital because they believe they can handle things. They believe they are strong. Also, there's this what we call COVID-19 effect. We need to know that before COVID-19 came, there are some health challenges that have been going on, either diabetes, hypertension, and all sorts of diseases. They were present even before COVID came. So the advent of COVID has given us a kind of impression that probably those disease conditions are not existing again. And even those that goes to hospital for regular checkup, because of COVID, they could not go to hospital again. So which means a lot of men or a lot of women may be harboring dangerous health conditions that COVID has denied them access to go to the hospital to go and check out. Of course, a lot of men lost their job, but beyond that also, there are ongoing health issues. Even the COVID that we are talking about, it seems to affect men even more than women from our reports. Most of men that get to the hospital, they ended up landing in intensive care units and they are likely to die because they have other lifestyle that could make them to be prone, their immunity not to be very strong. If you look at all these factors I've listed from one to the last one, you are expected that a life expectancy of such a person having prostate cancer, depression, heavy alcohol smoking, cigarette smoking, heavy alcohol consumption. COVID also, the life expectancy of a male figure in a family is actually shorter even than their partner. Now, as a man or as a woman, if you can follow these three outlines or this key determinant of health, you are most likely to live a reasonably good health, a reasonably good life. Number one, your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is not a very, very good one, take for example, involved in heavy alcohol, involved in heavy cigarette smoking, or you involve in illicit or indiscriminate multiple sexual partner. Those are lifestyles that could lead to some certain disease conditions, which could shorten the lifespan of a man or any human being. Also, the kind of environment we live. I know we have a little control over our environment, but even our... Hello?
Please, can you share your screen? Please, can you share yours?
My screen is shared.
No, it went off when there was a network issue.
Oh, sorry, please. Okay. Sorry about that. Please, which page I am so that I can go back to that place? Which slide number I am before it went off?
We're actually.
Can anybody tell me the slide number I am? I should just continue.
Continue, please.
Okay, so
What's from the beginning?
These are the health score that I have listed here that I will advise every man, every male figure, at least, even if it's just once a year, to make sure that they do some of these tests. Of course, there's what we call age-specific investigations or age-specific tests. Take, for example, from age 18 to 30, from age 30 to 40, men above 40 years, men above 50 years. This age range I've mentioned, there are disease entities that are actually common to them that you don't see in those that are not as old as that age. For example, now, if I ask from our audience, how many of the men have checked their blood pressure in the last 3 months? You will be alarmed that many people don't even check. It's very sad that sometimes in my practice, the first time a man will realize that he has high blood pressure is when he's having maybe stroke or when he's having kidney disease. You know, that is already too late, even for any doctor to do anything. So please, even if it's just once a year, maybe a week to your birthday, a week after your birthday, try and check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar, check your cholesterol level, which is lipid profile. Urinalysis, as simple as that test may be, in fact, in most places, it doesn't cost more than 200 naira, 300 naira. We can find a lot of problems, particularly kidney problems. We get early detection when you check your urine. Take, for example, even if you don't submit your urine, when you discover that you are urinating early in the morning, you observe that your urine is foaming excessively, as if they pour maybe something like Omo or any detergent in it. That may be a pointer to a particular disease condition. I know generally, don't be scared. Urine foams naturally, but when you notice that your home foams excessively, as if you pour a detergent, you may need to see a doctor. Also, you need to do abdominal scan. I will advise every man on this platform, if you are above 40 years, if you have never done abdominopelvic ultrasound, please, before the end of this year, try and do a scan. A lot of things will be seen in your kidney, a lot of things will be seen in your liver. Also, hepatitis B and C. I will focus so much on hepatitis B because there is a vaccine for it. If you get tested and you are negative, I will advise you to take the vaccine because this will prevent you from having liver cancer. Which once somebody has a liver cancer, it's just 3 months prognosis. The person may likely die. Hepatitis C, there's drug for it, there's no vaccine for it. But even if you get tested and you detect them on time, there are drugs that you can use for this. Urea and creatinine is also very important investigations. This will be a pointer to us if there's any problem with your kidney. And lastly, but not the least, there are a lot of investigations. Like I said, if you approach your physician, they will look at your age, they will look at your family history. I mean, ask some questions from you. Your family, do you have hypertension? Do you have diabetes? Do you have kidney problem? Any problem of stroke? It's those histories that your physician takes from you that will inform their decision on the kind of investigation they will ask you to do. And the last one is just a test about the function of your heart, how it's performing. Now, these are 7 health facts that men need to know. And if you can follow all these 7, even if you have any health condition in you, you can manage them reasonably. You know, we've seen people that they have diabetes for 40 years, have hypertension for 30 years, and they are still alive because they take the doctor's instructions and they use their medication as required. But I will emphasize on maybe 2 or 3 of them. Number 1, sleep. I know most men believe that when you sleep too much, you are likely not, you are more or less like not a serious person. But research has proven over and over that when you don't get 7 to 8 hours of sleep in a day, your immune system reduces by 70%. And that's why you see most people, when they don't get to sleep very well, maybe like 5 days, 6 days, by the following week, you're likely to be having flu, to be having catarrh. It's because your immune system has already been reduced by not having adequate sleep of 7 to 8 hours. Fruit nutrition is very important. Also, regular exercise is very key. Even if it's just 30 minutes walk 3 times a week, it does a lot. It makes your blood to flow, to circulate everywhere, every part of your body. And also, depending on where you are living in, but no matter where you are living, whether cold, whether extreme hot, you need not less than 2.5 liters of water every day. 2.5 liters of water. If you can take 3 liters, excellent. But not less than 2.5 liters of water, you need that. And the last one, most of the time, even if you come from a family that they have hypertension, they have diabetes, those are genetic problems that has been transmitted to you, either from your mother or from your father. But genetic is just what loaded the gun. Your lifestyle is what's going to pull the trigger. So if you indulge in a lifestyle that is not healthy, you are pulling the trigger of diabetes, you are pulling the trigger of hypertension, you are pulling the trigger of stroke, and many other disease conditions. So now, from our topic, we talked about building a strong family, post-COVID. For us to build a very strong and healthy family, in a family structure, you need the male figure, you need the female figure to build an effective and a very good home. Whenever there is any one of them deficient, particularly the male figure, which is expected to provide leadership in terms of vision, in terms of bringing the family together, in terms of bonding them together, if it's not available by virtue of ill health or by virtue of premature death, there are impacts that could be seen in the life of a male child, in the life of a female child, in the life of a mother, and globally or generally in the life of a nation. Take, for example, a male child needs that male figure around him to develop the typical masculine nature of which the way a male should behave in an environment. Whether we like it or not, truth be told, it is almost very difficult for a woman to raise a man. A woman can raise a male, but to raise a man is very, very, very difficult to raise a man. So you need a man to actually raise a man. And when there is no male figure to do that for a male child, most of them are being subjected to, unnecessary breadwinner pressure, that because you are the male figure, you're able to provide for your partners, your parents, your siblings, and all the rest like that. Many of them are also involved in, early premature sex, taking of hard drugs, because there's no male figure, authority figure in their life. Also for a female child, whether we like it or not, research has shown to us that most of the female derive the first relationship with opposite sex, particularly with female, from their father. So if the father is not around to provide that male figure, it may interest you that most of the female, the first time they hear "I love you" is from a man that has ulterior motive to them. They never had it from their father. Those are the statements that ideally it should come from a father figure to a female. That gives her a form of reassurance. That gives her that she's wanted. That gives her a confidence that she's always accepted in this place. That statement should not be told, should not be said to her by a stranger. And also, when there is no male figure, either by health or by death, there is a lot of pressure on the woman. A lot of pressure. And if you look at our nation, whatever we are seeing today, take for example, our prison service, banditry, kidnapping, most of them can be traced to a problem from a wrong home or from a home that is not functioning properly. As I conclude, I want to conclude with this statement. The man, his health, and family, they are facing different challenges at different times. But the most important thing is for us as a man that we should maintain a balance so that we will not make money at the expense of what money cannot buy. I really want to thank you for the opportunity and for the attention. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Doctor. That is so concise and very enlightening. Yes, do we have questions for Doctor? Questions? A contribution, comment? Any question for Doctor or comments? Okay. That means we can move on. Doctor, thank you once again for that amazing presentation. Oh.
I think somebody is raising his hand.
Madam Philippa, you can go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. What are the, Dr. Sayo, could you please highlight a little again some of the yardsticks that might be used in measuring, measuring the measuring some leadership strength, some leadership strength. You understand? Men should. I mean, there are certain yardsticks, no doubt, that that are used in measuring leadership qualities in different environments. As a medical practitioner, what do you suggest should be the yardstick, the health yardstick that should be used in measuring leadership leadership control in homes?
Thank you very much for the question.
Yes.
For heads in measuring yardstick, I mean leadership yardstick for a man, like I always say, that is very men. We are living in a different world today, and the definition of man, the definition of providing leadership, particularly at home, every man needs to have a reorientation about it. What makes a man 200 years ago is not what makes a man now. But basically, as a man, you are expected to provide vision for the family in terms of, okay, for our head in this family, what is our vision for the head of my wife? What is my vision for the head of my children? Take, for example, as simple as making sure that you vaccinate all your children. You are providing leadership for them. If they do any investigations, for example, like I said, talk about hepatitis B, hepatitis C, you lead them, which means as a man, you are not supposed only to have information. You need to know how to apply the information you are getting, or now to bring about good health for your family. Take, for example, for your wife now, you want your wife to live a very healthy life. Maybe you have enough information about it. If you check it, if you know that your wife BMI is getting to obesity level, morbid obesity, you are not supposed to be saying, you are becoming too fat. You can register her in a gym. You can even follow her to a gym to attaining a good health for her. If your wife comes from a family that maybe they have diabetes, they have hypertension, you need to pay attention more to her health. Because the two of you can decide, okay, for us, we want to live 70 years, we want to live 80 years. Not just living 70 and 80 years, but living 70, 80 years in good strength and in good health. So for a man, it's not a function of how much you have in your pocket. It's seeking for understanding. For a woman, what are the health things that a woman needs to know? Also for your wife, I won't expect a man that your wife is above 40 years. And even if it's just once, he needs to have done a mammogram. Mammogram just to, because we see a lot of women now coming down with breast cancer. I won't expect any man to have a woman that's above 45 not to have done pap smear. You know, when you detect all those things early, that will make your wife to live longer. So all this premature death will be avoided. I think I will just summarize it like that. Majorly, seek knowledge on health. Then secondly, the knowledge you have sought out for, make sure you apply it to your family, to your children, and to your wife, and have a target, health target for them. Thank you very much. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Okay. The restorer, you can go ahead.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor, for that presentation. What I would like to find out is, so you've said so many things about the man, leading, and modeling leadership in terms of health. What advice would you give to a woman when the man does not take up that that leadership? What advice? Because in your practice, I'm sure you must have seen men that do not, maybe women that came in and said that they have issues with their husbands following. What kind of advice would you give to such women here? Because I know that there are a lot of women here.
Thank you, Restaurant. Honestly, it's a very difficult situation for women, particularly when it comes to health. in my short practice, I was telling someone that it's only when a man is sick that you see a family that they want to sell property. They want to sell house to make the man to be healthy. When a woman is sick, they rarely do that. It's going to be very tough for the woman, but it's doable. Doable in the sense that apart from taking care of people in the house, I mean, providing necessary support, emotional support, and all the likes like that, she has to seek information on important health issues, lifestyle health issues, information on health promotions, which she may have to apply gently, because a man may start seeing that by nature, men, we so much value the ego system. Sometimes I think it's killing us most of the time. So a woman needs to, administer this in a way that it will not rub on his ego as being incompetent. There are better ways by which you can do that. If you refuse to take your children for vaccination, you may have to take them for vaccination to vaccinate them. If you decide not to check his BP, there is actually nothing you can do about that. The best you can do, if you know any of his friends, they can talk to him. I think they can do that. But most of the time, women do come to hospital more and they take care of themselves. Sadly, we've seen many cases whereby it's even the man that will bring the problem from outside and will give it to the woman. So for a woman, if you know the kind of the husband you have, you need to be very careful. Take, for example, someone that is a bit loose. We've seen men giving HIV to their wife. We've seen men giving hepatitis B to their wives. But as a woman, you need to seek the information like the man. If you have the information, try and apply it for your children and for yourself. It's difficult to change a man by word of mouth or by your action, particularly if it's coming from a woman, from my very little experience. But if it's coming from another man, or if it's coming from a superior figure, or if there's any way you can get him to come to the hospital, they will always listen to a doctor, particularly when they are facing problems. But sincerely, it's a tough call, I won't deceive you, to convince a man upon his head. But the woman just has to take up the role, which we add to the already the body that she has to take care of her too.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for that explanation. Please, if you have questions, you can use the emoji sign to raise up your hand. So see it. Doctor has made it known to us that we need to take care of our health, because a wholeness of health is what can enable us or help us to lead our family right. We need all our health together to be a good father figure at home for our family. And again, all those tests, please be endeavored to go for them. Don't push it only to your wife that's meant that you don't have time. Please, we need you to do that. And those precautions like drinking 2.5 liters of water, if I get it right, Doctor, then
yes, right.
sleep like 7 hours, please do them. We need you intact so you can live long for us and lead us the more. On this, so I want to introduce to us our second speaker. Honor. The brand marketing communication consultant. She's a graduate of political national. Make welcome Mrs. Foluke Amber. Mrs. Foluke Amber, we are waiting for you, ma.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, ma'am. You are welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry, I have to change.
Can hear you. You are welcome, my head.
Good afternoon, madam. You're welcome.
Sorry, gosh.
Mrs. Folike Amba, are you ready for us?
I am, sorry.
Okay, ma, you can go ahead, ma.
Yes, I'm trying to share. I had to change my device, so I'm trying to share my screen. Can doctor please share my screen? Please share my presentation. Sorry for that.
Okay, doctor, please.
I'm really sorry about this.
Dr. Busaya, please help us out.
Yes,
share.
I'm already doing that.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, your slides are on, madam.
God bless you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon, everyone. Yeah,
Good
please, I'll be
afternoon.
speaking on still on the same topic. Still on the same topic, building a stronger family post-COVID. We're talking more on strength of a family and we're laying more emphasis on the bond of a family, the strength of a family bond. We'll be laying more emphasis on that. Now, what the next, I'll like to take us through a picture of what a typical family looks like, particularly in Nigeria. I know we have our nuclear family, but most times even our nuclear family has us becoming a caregiver to one person or the other from our extended family. So I decided to use the image of the Johnson's family. I'm sure many of us know the popular sitcom on TV. So this is a typical Nigerian family where we have the father, the father as the head with the mother as the help, and also having the children, and one, if it's not your relative, it is one domestic help or the other as part of our family. Making reference to COVID, many of us experienced the lockdown last year, 2020. I'm sure many people couldn't wait for 2020 to come to an end. So one of the two on the lockdown experience, one was that the COVID helped members of the family to stay together. We spent maximum and pleasure. The second outcome was in some families, it created unpleasant situations leading to stress and agony. And some of the steps we are going to look at is what culminated to such that, so outcomes were different per families. Health issues. COVID-19 was a medical crisis all over the world. We had family members, people lost family members. We had one, even those that survived it had to, take care of someone ill. People had to isolate, people had to be quarantined, even living in the same house. You had husbands husbands in the room isolating or being quarantined while the wives became caregivers, and keeping them away from family. So there was a high health crisis. And another thing that came up, another pain point during the lockdown was relationships between husbands and wives, and also parenting. I'll tell you, many of us parents, we shy away from some of the issues with our children. And, we leave some to the schools to sort them out. But, the lockdown didn't create any way of escape for any one of us. We had to deal with the issues of parenting. Many of us saw the flaws of our children. Many of us saw the flaws of our parenting styles, and also how we related with our husbands, with our spouses. There was social and religious, lockdown. No religious activities were locked. The churches, mosques were shut down. Even no parties, no gathering, no social outing. For some people, for their mental health, they use social activities as a getaway. But this was taken off, and it was taken off abruptly. Another pain point was economy, and the economy as a whole suffered. And I know many of us know we've still not gone past that, even this year. So shops were shut down, businesses were shut down, finances were affected. Some offices cut down salaries. Some had to lay off people as in immediately. So it wasn't planned for. So many families had financial crisis. And as a result of that, you wonder how some families survived this. And I want to pull down I want to highlight some of the factors I felt made some survive that period. The lockdown brought to fore the strength and weakness of the family bond. The value of family bond is greatly determined by personal strength and personal weaknesses of the individuals that make up the family. We've established that the husband is the head of the family, but the growth, like Doctor said earlier, the growth of that family is also determined by every member of that family playing their part. So the strength that individuals bring to the table, the weaknesses that the individual brings to the table determines the strength of the family bond. So strengths are personal sources of energy that you can draw upon when the going is good to help you excel. Also in challenging times like we experienced last year or when under pressure. Your strength boosts your confidence, resilience, and resourcefulness. While weaknesses are considered to be skills or traits that are negative, that highlight human insecurity. So what are examples of personal strength? And for many families that survived this, all these things came to play. We had to be creative in how you manage the home front during that period. You had to engage your children. You had to engage your husband. The husband had to engage the wife and the children. You had to be creative in how you managed funds and how you made sure you provided 3 square meals, because believe me, when your children are at home, if they are not engaged in anything tangible to do, they are hungry. So you have to be creative about how we manage that process. Determination is another personal strength. Determination that yes, you will make it through. Expressive, not hiding, not being expressive, letting go of things easily. Honesty, enthusiasm, dedication, dedicated to the family, dedicated to the growth of the family. Discipline. Correcting, this is correcting and correcting in love. Discipline, open-mindedness, not closed-mindedness. You see, that is my way or the highway. Friendly as a personal strength, being respectful. Respect in the family cannot be overemphasized. For many families that struggled, see finish was an issue. And when it comes to see finish, it's hard to be respectful. So respectful as a personal strength, so many people pulling through. Versatility, you had various ways, of getting to the point of getting to your goal. trustworthiness, dependable, that means you're reliable. Patience. Now, patience is that, you're calm, whatever came up, you were calm to address it. And prudence, there's one prudence, I have to emphasize on prudence. I didn't put prudence on this, but I have to emphasize on prudence as a personal strength. Because, some of the questions also that will come up in the family is that, since I'm the one who has the flexibility, able to make money or the capacity to manage funds, doesn't confer leadership. It's just a strength that you bring to the table and which should be harnessed by the head of the house for the growth and to strengthen the bond of the family. So I'll quickly go through weaknesses also. You'll find out that for those that didn't make it through, even during that time, a lot of issues came up. You had family, domestic violence, domestic abuse was on the high during this period. Impatience, these are some of the things that leads to stress, that leads to agony in the family. Impatience, being passive, not addressing issues as they come. Greedy, thinking of yourself alone to the detriment of everyone in the family. Impulsive, you don't consult, you need to consult because family is also a partnership. Being blunt, I give it to them, that's goes, I give it to you straight, very blunt. I'm not being considerate of other people's feelings. Self-critic, you're always overthinking issues, and before you know it, the time for that thing has passed. You're being stubborn, selfish, bossy, being lazy. During the lockdown, you had to do the work. You had to take care of your home. You had to make sure your house was clean. Hygiene was an issue during the lockdown. You had to be clean. Perfectionist, it was not a perfect situation for anybody. So for a perfectionist, it was an issue. Being close-minded, aggressive, procrastination. So these were some of the personal traits that led to collapse of some of the families during this period. So while I want to encourage us to build personal strength, going forward, let us build personal strength. And I divided it into 3 categories: belief, value, and attitude. So for belief, under belief, you must have faith in something. You must believe in something. If not, you're just living for life. You're just living to, just to exist. You must have faith. You must have faith in your ability, have faith in God, have faith in your ability you must learn to trust. You must learn to trust people. You must learn to trust God. You must have a forgiving heart. Forgiveness is an issue because if you don't let go of things, you find yourself having to see someone like Dr. Bosiah. So forgiveness is an issue, and you must have a spirit of love. Love yourself, like love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, what you wouldn't want done to you, don't do to others. So under value is like a standard of behavior. It's that to build personal strength, to be able to build a family, you must be generous. There's no stingy husband that has peace in the house. There's no stingy wife that has peace in the house. You must be generous, courageous. Courageous tends to being bold, being confident at what the things you bring to the table and your responsibility. Respect yourself. Respect yourself and respect others. You can't give what you don't have, and be kind. Be kind to people. See people as human beings created for a purpose. Another category is attitude. Now, this speaks to the lens through which we see the world. Peace. Let us live peacefully amongst ourselves. Joy. Joy is not something temporary. So that even when challenges come, there's this joy in you that yes, tomorrow is another day. Humility, and I'm not talking about this plastic humility or fake temporary humility that 1 minute, then the next thing, when somebody steps on you. Patience, being fair, being fair to yourself, being fair to people around you. Gratitude, and being hopeful. Throughout last year, we really had to be hopeful that yes, one way or the other, we will overcome the challenges that the lockdown, the COVID-19 brought our way. Many families needed hope just to be able to know that, yes, they will see 2021. So these are some of the things that can build personal strength. And with all this in play, I want to define the strength of a family bond. the strength of a family bond is built on those individuals' strengths harnessed by the head of the family to form relationship qualities that contribute to the emotional health and well-being of the entire family. I'm sure from the outcome of last year, many of us got a score chart really of the true nature of our families, how healthy it was, in terms of our relationship. So these are some of the ways we can contribute to the emotional health and well-being of the entire family. So I want to conclude by highlighting some of the positive points from the lockdown, which should help us sustain the family bond. Appreciation of individual roles. Men appreciated their wives. Wives also appreciated their husbands. As in, for some, they got to see their husband, not just one day, like stretch. So we got to appreciate every effort, the effort of others in the family, the contributions everyone brings to the table. We communicated more. I want us to continue with this if we want to bring a strengthen our family bond. Communication, partnership. We are both working for a common goal, and we need to partner. Hygiene has come to stay, whether we like it or not, because the hygiene has come to stay. We should keep up with our hygiene and also pass this on to our children. Sharing, we got to talk more. We got to share how we feel during that period. We got to share emotions. We agreed on targets for the period. Okay, how are we going to survive next month? How are we going to we discuss during this period? I want us to continue. If we have targets for the family, let it be shared, and let everyone, even to the children, let everyone know what they are working towards. Bonding. For the first time, many people sat on the same table to eat. As in, husbands shared food with their wives, wives shared food with their children. These were some things that have been lacking in most homes. Family tasks, family functions, in short, the games finished up in most stores. Ludo, watch, Monopoly, people bonded at such. So I don't want us to lose this. COVID, we say it has gone, it hasn't gone, but it has left us with some things, and I think we should hold on to it. Technology. We had relatives that were far, but we kept in touch. We used technology for a good use that period. We had lots of weddings held via Zoom. We had lots of meetings. Then you found out that there were some outings that were not necessary, that you could spend more time with your house, just because you had technology. And financial discipline. It taught many people, to be financially disciplined during that period, because you didn't know when the next one was going to come. You didn't know what family emergency was going to come up. So we all learned this, and I want us to hold on to this and improve on it. And the Lord will help us. So that's the end, but I would like to share one last thing. We don't know what we don't know is more than what we know. And this speaks to the fact that
Madam Hamba, we can't hear you again.
Oh, I just finished. Can you hear me?
Okay, you are through with us.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that awesome delivery.
Very much.
We get it. So do we have question for Mrs. Foluke Hamba? Questions, contribution, comments? Somebody raised his hand before, but the person has left. Do we have question for Mrs. Hamba? Comments, contributions?
I have contributions. I don't know if I can go ahead.
Okay, Doctor, go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Foluke Hamba, for the wonderful presentation. I just want to add to the aspect of the COVID. It's good for us to know that the Delta variant is around, Of course, it's been discovered and detected also in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos and Oyo State and some other states. Also, the reason why I'm emphasizing that is we should still know that COVID is still kind of around, which means all the things please, no matter what you are hearing, please get the vaccine. There's a study that was done in US recently. They discovered that 97% of people in hospital presently, as a result of COVID, they are those that didn't get the vaccine. And the same study also discovered that 99.7% of those people that are dying from COVID, they are those that didn't get the vaccine. So please, try and get the vaccine. It saves a lot. Even if you have it, you are not likely to suffer from a serious ailment if you have the vaccine. Thank you.
Doctor, thank you very much. That is so great. So do we have more question for her? Any question for her? Okay, at the absence of none, we want to thank you, Mrs. Foluke Amba again. You highlighted some facts during the lockdown that happens between families because they were forced to stay together at home. It helps some people, it helps some families to build strength, to build love, to bond together with their family because they don't have jobs to hide or to cover themselves, so they are forced to stay together. But to some other families, it is the other way around. The lockdown taught more. So that I want to please beg us to be intact. She said, build our strength. Let's work on our weaknesses and let's continue the bonding. Don't say that because COVID-19 has gone, though the second or what is passing by at all, I believe that. So we should continue the bonding. Let's strengthen our family the more. Whatever that may be happening in our homes, don't let us allow it to degenerate. Don't let it just get out of hand. In fact, when we are pissed off, that is when we really need to build our homes the more, to pay attention to it. Let's go back to our drawing board. Let's look at those times that we really love ourselves. The next thing is not to give up on our families, but to continue the love and the bonding. And this takes us to one issue that we all know. We want to take this case of this Chidima. Yes, Chidima, and that CEO of that super TV series. We want to take it. We heard the news and the case and what happened, that the lady, the Chidima, has to stab the man to death. It doesn't happen that day. Everything started somewhere. There's another story. The Chidima said that the man wanted to force himself on her, but she was tired, so she has to defend us. And the man go violent, so she has to defend herself. That's why she stabbed the man. But there's another story that came up eventually that says that Chidima was initially planted into the life of that man to destroy him. Why? Because he has issues in his home, unresolvable issues with his wife. So that is where we are actually going to. What leads to that unresolvable issues? And everything, if you want to look at the story, it's started from somewhere. So don't let us allow our family to degenerate. We are talking about family as a role model to our children. If the parents are not in good terms, how are they going to build good children? How are they going to be a good leaders to their children? And we know that according to the children developmental psychologists, they made us to understand that children learn more from what we do than what we tell them to do. And we all know that family is the first agent of communication to build children. So to build good virtues in the life of your children, please be a good leader. Bond very well with them. Be a good father figure, be a good mother figure. Like another case that I want us to look into is the case of this lady, Kemi, that happened about 5-6 years ago, that her husband stabbed her to death. What happened? The husband lost his job and he got frustrated, angry, depression, this and that. So it led to him killing his own wife. It doesn't happen that time. It doesn't happen at that point. It started from somewhere. And like our speaker said, that we should deal with our weaknesses, whatever weaknesses that we know. Don't let it degenerate till it becomes to hurt our spouses or another person. Let's work on it. Let's dwell more on our strength, and let's dwell more on bonding together so that we can put a good virtue and culture into our children. Those children that we are seeing outside today, those miscreants, those kidnappers, those thugs, they are products of a home. It is on parents that breed them. It is on parents that groom them. But see what they turn our society to. So please, we are begging you to be able to produce good children that will make our society, our nations, or our world a better place. Please build your family. Bond will be a good leader figure to your children in all things. And I know that the world will be a better place. The world will be a better place for us. So on this, I want to introduce our top speaker for today. Is no other person than Mrs. Modupeola Asuku. She's a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, where she bagged her first and second degree in management and accounting. She is a result-oriented and a go-getter. She's kind that always maintains positive mindset. She is a counselor and loves family to grow in good value and virtue. She's happily married with children. Please help me to welcome Mrs. Foluke Asuku. Pardon me, Mrs. Modupeola Asuku. Mrs. Modupeola Asuku, you have the platform.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that kind introduction. And I want to say good evening to everyone. Good evening to everyone. You are welcome to this wonderful webinar, Building a Stronger Family Post-COVID. Building a Stronger Family Post-COVID. The first two speakers, they've spoken well in respect to post-COVID. I will just go straight to the topic I have here before me. The roles of the man and the woman as a leader in the family. The roles of the man and the woman as a leader in the family. Before I go further, I will just do a brief introduction. When we are talking of building a stronger family, or talking of building generally, we also talk of foundation. We talk about the foundation of that building, no matter what we want to build. And when we are talking of foundation, there are lots of key issues when it comes to building the foundation of the family. And just one of it is what we are going to discuss in this format, in these outlines. We look at what leadership is, the importance, we look at the roles of the man and the woman, the relationship between leadership and roles. Then we'll be able to draw a conclusion. And by the end, we also, here are the objectives that we'll be able to gather by the end of this presentation to understand that leadership is key in a family. So understand that leadership comes with roles and duties, to appreciate the importance of leadership and roles in a family. Before I move further to the next slide, when we are talking of leadership and we are talking of leaders, who are the leaders in a home? I would like to answer it that we have two major leaders in the home, the man and the woman. We might say the woman is a co-leader, a support, and empathy, but she's also a leader. And I want to stress at this point that the man and the woman in building a stronger family must have that mindset that they are leaders. Many of us didn't believe we are leaders. In quotes, in this side of the world, we believe we are leaders when we are holding a political position, or we believe we are leaders when we are in a big organization and we are the MD or the director, or when we have a big position in the community. But I want to put it to us this evening that the man and the woman, we are leaders in our homes. We are great leaders in our homes. I want us to have this mindset if you actually want to build a stronger family post-COVID, post all what the first and the second speaker have spoken about. We need to have this mindset. And I will go straight to this next slide, which says, what is leadership? Leadership is a state or position of being a leader. The action of leading a group of people or organization. Like I said, you are leading people, you are leading your children, you are leading the people living with you. You must assume that position of leadership. As a man, you must assume that position. As a woman too, you must assume that position of a leader. You must see yourself as a leader. And I want to put it to us again. In our organizations, many of us are excellent leaders, powerful ones, that we've gotten so many awards relating to how we have led the people in the organization in achieving the great goal of the organization. So also, we have to do this in the family. We have to assume that position of leadership so that we can achieve our goals, that targets, the belief, what we want our family to be. That wonderful family, that family that people will like to emulate. The man, the husband, is the leader of the family, like I said, and the woman is a co-leader, support, and helpmate. Before I talk about this next slide, which is the importance of leadership in the home. I want to say this. When it comes to leadership, as a leader in the home, the man especially, I want you to remember that you are not an island. You can't make decisions on your own. You make decisions alongside with your wife. Just the way we do in the organizations, set up committee, set up different meetings before we go make any decision. We equally have to do this. And looking at this, when we do all this, when we lead together, there are lots of benefits, importance of this in our home for us to build a stronger family. It will provide a common goal which leads to a healthier and happier and healthier family life. I put it to you, if you are the kind of man that carries your woman along, you make decisions together, you sit together to make this decision, she will be happy. It will be a healthier family life because you are not hiding any information away from your wife. Neither is the woman doing the same. We are all coming together to lead the family, to lead the children. Also, it will help the children to grow with the understanding of helping one another in love. You know, when the father and the mother are in good relationship, I tell you, automatically the children will follow suit. When you collaborate together in leading the children, they will follow suit. This will also bring unity and love. It brings teamwork and team spirits. I will move to the roles. What are roles? I said the functions assumed or parts played by a person. Everyone in the family has roles to play. We all have duties to perform. The man has his own, the woman likewise has her own duty to perform. I will not start going deep one after the other, telling us the roles or the duties we need to perform. We all know them. But what I would draw at this point is to make us to understand that as much as we are performing our roles as leaders, we must be able to carry each other along, especially our children, because we are talking of a future generation, future leaders, and we really need that in this country. Building a stronger family is from the home, and building even a better nation is from the home. When it comes to the issue of role, I want to say that both leaders should not indulge their children in performing their duties and their roles. This is a very common aspect that we see in our days because of we have ourselves, housemates, cooks, watchman, and the rest. We leave these children not performing their duties. We have to be very cautious of this, not to indulge our children in not perform. They must do their own roles and their duties as much as we, the parents, every day we do ours. They too, they are leaders, so they must. Everyone in the family has his or her roles to play in the family in order to build a stronger family. No. When we do our roles, a lot of benefits, importance of roles in the family. It provides clarity of family vision. It provides alignment of decision that will help the family make progress and stand out positively in the extended family and the society at large, to accomplish much more as a team for smooth running of the family, to support the common goal of the family, their beliefs, values, and attitude. I think the second speaker spoke a lot about beliefs, values, and attitudes, so I won't dwell much on it. But when each and every one of us in the family see ourselves as leader and we perform our duties, our roles, these are what we are going to have to support that goal. We'll be able to demonstrate, people will be able to see our beliefs, our values, our attitude, and people will be able to emulate us. This is the order, the left one, the one on the left-hand side is talking about the right order as the Lord intended it to be for us in the home. God, husband, and the wife. And maybe we decide not to follow that order, we have the other way around. But I pray that the Lord will help us, that we follow that which the Lord has intended for every family. Because this right order will also help in building a stronger family. I'll move to the next slide, which says, family must be together. We've heard a lot about this. We must be together. As a leader, both the father and the mother, we must lead our children together. We must be together in decision making. You might be wondering, why must the children be there? I tell you, in this our own century, you have to carry your children along. It's not in our days that our fathers will just make decisions. We dare not be in that meeting. But our present dispensation, you have to carry the children along. In any decision, in anything the leader, as the man of the house, wants to do, so that we'll be able to achieve that common goal and have a stronger family. We'll be on the same page when we are together. This another slide is showing the mother, the father, and the children under them, like the two of them protecting the children. It's a sign of protection. That's part of our duties, the man and the woman in the home, to protect our children. You will look at the woman, she's very fragile and small, but looking at the man, very big, but they were able to hold each other strongly, head hands together strongly, so that they can build a stronger home. We can't over-exercise this togetherness when you want to build a stronger home. We must agree together. We must do things together. We must be informed. We must not keep any information out of each other. We must make every information, be open-minded, put it on the table, and you both decide on how to move on about it. This next slide is telling us that family, your first organization. Why do I say so? Many of us, like I said, we are wonderful family, wonderful leaders in our working places. But when it comes to family, it's very sad. We can't be that leader. I want to put it to us, let's be open-minded. See your family as the first organization. If you can be so wonderful as a leader in your working place, why not at home? All those management training, all those skills that you have acquired, bring it into the family. Bring it into the family. Manage your wife, manage your children, manage whatever situation you are in, and you will see yourself building a stronger family. The family first, before workplace, and before the world at large. Before I draw my conclusion, I want to tell us that that state of mind of being a leader is very, very key. It's a state of mind. It's something every one of us, especially the man and the woman, must assume. You must have that mind of, I'm a leader in my home. I must influence. I must impart on my children. I must influence them to do good. I must influence them to stand out in the society. And I will conclude by saying, some of us, someone must lead an organization for the overall benefit of the organization and the world at large. So also a man must lead a family. The man is the leader of the home. The woman is a co-leader. As leaders in our homes, we must be able to influence our children positively, to present them as future leaders. And I say it once again, that the Lord will help us in doing this. I'll round up by saying we are in it to make it work. All of us, the man, the woman, we are in it to make it work. And it will definitely work and have a stronger family as we put all this into practice. Thank you very much for listening.
Wow, thank you, Mrs. Modukweola Azuku. That is so awesome. The message was very well delivered. Yes, do we have question for Mrs. Modukweola? If you have question, you can raise up your hand or you can put it in the chat box. But we have Matthew Akingbola. Can we have you? Matthew Akingbola, you can ask your question now. Matthew Akingbola.
Hello.
You have to unmute him.
Now, go ahead with your question.
Hello. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Now, yes, we can
Hello,
hear you.
good evening.
Question.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. This is Matthew Akingola on the line.
Good evening. Welcome.
Can you hear me? Can I speak?
Yes, speak on. We can hear you.
Okay, I bless God for the presentation I'm on to this evening. So, this very generation, I observed that when the mother is training the child on the right path, the father used to complain, even in the presence of the child. And when the father is training the child on the right path, the mother also will complain. And this, how I was brought up, my own parents personally, when I did something wrong, when my mother beat me or my father, none of them will complain in my presence. But later on, they may be discussing that the way you beat the child is not the right. So, and I found out that it's not happening in this right generation. I don't know why. So I want to ask the presenter that how can we overcome this and how can we go about it that the both parents will understand each other when the mother or the father beat the.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew, for that question. What I would like to tell you first and foremost is that the husband and the wife must be together. You know, there is a slide I showed. Hello?
Yes, madam.
Can I continue?
Yes, continue, ma'am.
Okay, the husband and the wife must be together. To overcome this, I will advise the man and the woman to come together, communicate, discuss it. Speak with your husband, speak with your wife. Tell him this way you are doing it is not the right way. Because I tell you, when you expose yourself to the children of this generation, they see it as an opportunity and they will take it, even to hurt their parents. So we must be very careful. The first thing is for the two of you to come together, communicate together, discuss this issue, and plan how you want to do it. You can even discuss with yourself and pretend that when I'm talking, you don't talk, or you join me to fuel it up. And I believe if you do so, communication is very important when it comes to issues like this. Thank you.
Okay.
I think I answered your question, Mr. Matthew. Mr. Matthew, are you there?
Yes. Philippa Heta, you can go ahead with your question, ma'am.
Okay, mine is actually not a question. Thank you very much, Mrs. Modukola. That was a fantastic delivery. You understand? When you said that parents, in the cause of leading, the man and the woman, his wife, should carry their children along. Now, a lot of things ran through my mind, and let me just mention that one of the benefits of carrying children along while making decisions, I listed a few things. I said here, it reduces rebellion in children. When you don't carry children along while you're making decisions, they see it as, well, that's you, this is what we want. So it reduces rebellion in children. It also gives the children a sense of belonging. It makes them feel like they are a part of the family when you carry them along while making decisions in the home. Remember, you're grooming leaders for a tomorrow. Another thing I noted while we were talking, you understand, on carrying children along, that is that it promotes love and progress in the family. Also, there's a better understanding in the family by the children why things are done the way it is done in that family. Now, finally, I said it helps for accountability. Imagine if we say we are maybe you give children the opportunity to make certain decisions that has to do with the finances. They understand how much it will cost, you understand, to do certain things where money is concerned. So they can they can be accountable, you understand, to the things that they do, and it helps them as they grow older and also become a member of a family. So it builds a stronger bond in the family. Thank you. That's just my own contribution to what you said, Mrs. Modukola.
Thank you.
Wow, very great contribution. Thank you, Dora Philippa. That's great. Do we have more comments or contributions or questions for Mrs. Modukola? Any other question for her? Contribution? Okay. Thank you once again, Madam Modukola. really spoken to us. We cannot commit the upbringing of our children to the hand of maids or helper at home. A lot of parents are making that mistakes, maybe due to our engagement, works, this and that. Like we have some parents that they work late night before they come back home, the children might have sleep and the rest. And eventually they committed the growth of their children to the hand of their staffs, domestic staffs. Through this, a lot of children have been violated. Through this, a lot of things that happen to the ego of those children or they are growing up. In fact, that kind of children will grow up in a way that their parents will be asking themselves if they are the one that actually gave birth to those children. So let's watch it, no matter how. We know that we really need to put hands together. We need money to train up these children, but don't let us mortgage their destiny with money by working. Let's do it right. Then like the question that Mr. Matthew asked, yes, some parents are guilty of that. Let's take note and build a stronger family for ourselves, even after COVID, so we can enjoy the honeymoon every day of our marriage. So on this note, I will ask us to please fill the feedback form. Please, every participant, help us to fill the feedback form. We want to hear from you. We want to know which area that we can dwell in next time. We want to know how to do it better. Please drop your comments, drop your feedback through it. So, on this, I will ask Restorer Adiola if we still have questions in the questions in the chat box.
Yes.
Do we have any question in the chat box?
I think there's only one question there. Yes, there's only one question there for Dr. Busayo. I think from Olayinka Odubela. She was asking the doctor to state some of the tests that we need to carry out, especially the men. I think she said she came on board late, so she didn't get that aspect. So some tests that the men need to carry out. From Olayinka Odubela.
Not for us, sir.
The person responded because I posted them. So he responded again that he has seen it. He has seen those tests.
Okay.
Oh, okay. He answered already.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you still have any question there?
So we have some questions.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we have some questions from parents who signed up online. So I will read the questions and then I hope that any of the speakers can help us answer it. One of the first questions that was written here is, so this is talking about a godly home, and it says here, how can a weak family altar be corrected? How can a weak family altar be corrected? So does anybody want to answer that before I go into the next?
Anybody to answer for us? Madam Odukwala, do you have anything to say to that?
Yes.
Family altar, building altar.
Building family altar. How can a weak one be corrected?
Yes.
Actually, if I want to be very sincere in answering this question, I know it's that person or why most people will ask that question is because of the nature of traffic, going to work in our community. It has been an issue and it has really affected family altars. But what I will say is that we have to make conscious effort concerning it. You have to decide when to have the family altar. It might not necessarily be in the morning. because most of us have that belief that it has to be in the morning before we move out. If you know that everybody will not be able to come together in the morning, you might change it to the evening when everybody is at home. Maybe 9:30 before you go and sleep, you call everybody. It might be inside your room. It might not even be in the sitting room. You pray, and by so doing, it's a conscious effort that the leader, the man or the woman, has to take up that responsibility. That's part of our roles and our duties as Christians. We have to take it up by making conscious efforts. Carry the children along, as we have been saying, concerning this, to carry them along. Because when you carry them along, ask them questions. When should we have our family altar? They will tell you. They might tell you morning, some might tell you evening. Like when I was having the same issue, I asked my children, when are we to have this family altar? It's a must. And they told me, Mommy, 6. Let's have it 6, then we go back and sleep. And we decided that it's 6. And I make a conscious effort to tell them that even if I'm not there or their father is not there, it's a standing rule. One of you should lead and have that family altar. So I think by so doing, we'll be able to work on a weaker family altar. Thank you.
Okay, so let me quickly ask this. It's slightly close, so let me ask the ones that are related to
Can I add to that, please? I was raising my hand.
Okay.
Yes,
I want to Mr. go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Talking about a weak altar, when we use the word weak, strong, better, those are relative terms. Definitely, you must have been comparing with something, which we need to be very careful of as a Christian. Somebody saying he has a weak altar. What was he making reference to? What is the definition of a strong altar? You need to understand your family structure. Like Mrs. Modipola has rightly said, your family structure is very important. The kind of the work the husband does, the wife do, you need to put that into understanding. Then another point I also want to raise, sometimes some family, they have a very strong family altar, but individual altar is lacking, which I think we should also emphasize on that. Family altar should just be the period where all of you gather together to share what you have gained from your personal communion with God. It does not, whereas, because if you are not careful, there's a place for you to replace your own personal communion with God to family altar, which means it's just the family altar that you are waiting for. But you, as children, as they are growing up, maybe the children, when they are still aged less than 5 years, when they are getting to 10 years, we should introduce them to their own personal relationship with God and not emphasize too much on the family altar, which is also very important. Those are the two things I want to add. Thank you. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Akingbola, you are on now. You have something to say? Question, contribution, or comment? Matthew Akingbola, are you still there? Okay. Anthony Agbamike, you are on, sir. Anthony Agbamike.
Okay.
Anthony,
good evening, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening, sir. You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for these impactful lectures, and I pray God will bless every one of us in Jesus' name. Please, my question is, so since everything we are into now is timely, this family altar, when has it related to it? I don't know if you're getting my question, ma'am.
Okay.
Like what as a how many minutes we spend? Okay.
Hello, ma.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, can I go ahead? Hello?
You are on. Hey. Okay, maybe network. Can we answer to that question from
Hello, Matthew is on the line. Hello?
if you are
Hello?
Hello, Matthew.
go ahead. You're online. Okay, let's answer the question from Mr. Agbomieke. Is there any time, specific time, that we can fix for a family altar? Any of our speaker can answer that. Philippa, can you help us look into it?
Okay, hello.
Philippa, hello,
Hello,
can you
good
please
evening
help
once
us look
again.
into it?
All right, ma'am. Okay, for me, I think that you need to, again, look at the uniqueness of your family. If you have very young children and you are allocating 1 hour to family altar, at the end of the day, you'll be the only one talking to your Heavenly Father. Now, as the children grow older, you can step up on the time you want to allocate to your family altar. If you want to do 20 minutes, if you want to do 30 minutes, if you think 1 hour is most convenient, you also have to look at the time of day that you are allocating 1 hour to. If you are dealing with teenagers and you bring on a topic, you have shared the word and they bring in contributions, you will find out that 45 minutes, 1 hour will so elapse, you'll be needing more time. So the time we should allocate to family altar is relative to that family and the category of children you have in there. Again, I submit, if you have very young children, you have 5-year-olds and you're keeping them for 1 hour, it's unfair. Attention span is not that much. You will end up doing it yourself. So look at the trend of your own family and allocate the time and make it exciting. Make it exciting. That's one of the things. If you do not allow people express in the cause of a family altar, and every time it has to be you, either you, the dad, you start, you finish, there are no contributions. It becomes boring eventually, even to teenagers. It becomes that family altar becomes a burden, and it becomes duty for them. So hence, there is no relationship formed. You are already burdening them with your idea of what a family altar should be. So if you're going to have worship time, listening to music, study the word, explain, make it interactive. So time will not be of essence eventually. You will just realize that if you earmark 40 to 1 hour, you will maybe needing extra minutes to continue in it. I hope I've been able to break it down.
Yes, madam. Indeed. Thank you very much. Do we still have question in the chat box? We can attend to like one more. Question from the chat box.
No one for now.
No one.
None, yes.
Okay. You can go ahead, Madam Philippa.
Thank you once again. You know, when you, Restaurant Elizabeth, you said something earlier. We cannot commit the upbringing of the children in our homes or our children to maids. You understand? Now, in reducing, now, For the last speaker who talked about nature of discipline, our world today is very peculiar. You know, you have the LGBTQ, lesbians, gay, bisexual, queer, and queer plus in our world today. So if you do not agree on modalities and forms of discipline, you are opening up the children to being trained and to being exposed or to being educated by anybody. So if your form of discipline also should not be such that the children see it as punishment. Now, Bible says we should correct each other in what? In love. So when we are disciplining children, like it was rightly said, agree to what the nature of discipline should be, so that we do not find our children in the category of the LGBTQ category, so that we can raise godly children. Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. So as leaders, fathers in the homes, mothers in the homes, there has to be agreement to what the nature of discipline should be. So we can give account to God, to this family he has given to us to raise. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, madam. That is so insightful. Thank you. So please, our participants, help us to fill the feedback form. We are counting on it. So over to you, FG. Are you there? Mr. Agiwa.
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. It's a privilege to be here with everybody and to be able to host this event with us. I believe that, you know, we have learned a lot. I believe that it has been insightful for us. And I want to just say thank you for being part of it. Thank you for joining in. I know more people registered to join in, and at the end of the program, we are going to send you the slides and the recording so that we can rewatch, you know, and also be able to give us feedback on how impactful the event has been. Now, we would say that, you know, we have highlighted quite some things during the webinar. And one of the things that I would want to reiterate before we finally end is that something that Mrs. Mutukwe said, and it is the need to carry our children along in whatever decisions that we make. It's very important that we carry our children along. And I loved how Mrs. Philippa also put a strong benefit to it, that it reduces rebellion. So it's important that we carry our children along so that we can help them also to know how decisions are made. One of the things that's helping children, when we are carrying our children along, is that it impacts them in how they make decisions. They will see how decisions are made. They will see how they will feel a sense of belonging. You know, they won't feel that, you know, leadership is about you pushing things or ramming things down their throats. No matter how young they are, it is very, very important that we carry them along. And that is how we keep modeling leadership in the home, because when you look at the family, it's all about leadership. It's all about you impacting the life of children in the family. It's about you raising another human being. And that is just simply about influence. When you talk about family, you're talking about relationships and you're talking about leadership. And we've seen, you know, in this COVID season that, you know, as a therapist and a business management consultant, I have seen how the effects of the COVID had impacted drastically on family relationships and dynamics. And a lot of people have come to understand themselves better. A lot of people have come to see, you know, themselves in terms of weaknesses, strengths. You know, parents are getting to know more about their children. And life generally is about relationships. And it's either you are influencing a relationship positively or you are influencing a relationship negatively. So it's important that as humans, as parents, we are impacting ourselves positively. I want to encourage you to take all the things that you've learned during this webinar, model leadership in terms of health, so that because you cannot do anything outside of your human body. You know, if the human body is weak, there is nothing we can do. So it starts first from how you take care of your body. We can go into the mindset of how you think, your beliefs, which the second speaker talked about. We want to talk about effective communication. As Ms. Mudupeola said, you know, carry the children along, discuss things with them. It is very important. We hope that you would have, you will be able to use these things and it would have a very positive impact in your family. If you have more questions, you can send us a mail at nlirestorers@gmail.com. If you also look at your registration details, you will see that email there. You can also, if you need help, further help, you know, we have counselors in the house. I'm a certified therapist. We have professionals in the house. You can reach out to us in emails and let us know what way we can help you and support you in your journey of raising a stronger family, of building a stronger family post-COVID. Thank you very much. For everyone that is still here, please endeavor to fill our feedback form. We have more things for you, and I'm sure that it will be a very mutually benefiting relationship. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great evening and great holiday if you're in Nigeria. Thank you. Okay, so we can exit.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
All right, so let me unmute everybody in case anybody wants to still speak. Our time is up. Our time is up, so
Thank you very much.
you can unmute yourself, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me do it like this. Everybody can unmute themselves. If you want to unmute, you can unmute yourself and say bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man.
Hello, bye-bye.
Bye.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Restorer Elizabeth, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Broshegon greeting you.